Morning, dear students. I am Sanjay Goyal, Assistant Professor of English, Department of English, Jain Vishwa Bharati University, Lucknow. Today we are going to discuss the paper number 5th, that is Literature for Human Values. It is your paper number 5th actually, and it has various elements related to human life in order to develop our personality, our mind, and our intellect. This paper particularly focuses on the general topics. Here we have included different general books like Gitanjali and like Ramayana. So this is block number 5th today, in which actually Ramayana by C. Rajagopalachari is prescribed. As you are all aware, Ramayana and Mahabharata are the two epics of Indian culture. They are the representative books of Hindus. So these two books are so much so related with our daily life, with our mother and motherlands, that these books, we do not think that they can be in the syllabus. So you will be thinking in your mind, you must have been surprised by the prescription of this book, that how and why this book has been included in the syllabus. But let me tell you, we will discuss gradually in the coming slides that how and why it is different from Valmiki's Ramayana. But let me introduce you. Ramayana, as a matter of fact, was written by Valmiki, and that was the principal text that was written in Sanskrit. And after that, it is quite visible that Ramayana was written in different cultures, in different traditions, in different languages also. There are some sources. Through them we can find, in fact, Ramayana was written in the different cultures, even in the foreign cultures. They were not at all related with India. So, what I wanted to discuss with you, my dear friends, is that the popularity of the concept of Ramayana, the popularity of the characters of Ramayana has become a favorite subject for the writers of different languages and traditions and cultures across the world. Ramayana by C. Rajagopalachari is a kind of English translation, you can call it, but you can't call it translation. If this question is asked in the examinations, that what is the genre of Ramayana by C. Rajagopalachari, what is the genre of Ramayana by C. Rajagopalachari, then your answer should be retold. Your answer should be retold actually, because he has not translated Valmiki's Ramayana as such. Or there are so many Ramayans written by Namdev, written by Kamban, written by Goswami Tulsidas ji, and there are so many other forms of Ramayana. So we can't say that he has particularly translated one particular Ramayana. So he has actually rendered it into English through his own understanding of Ramayana. That is why it will be apt, it will be appropriate to call it as a retold. You must remember, it should be called as retold. Now here we go. The Ramayana is one of the greatest epics of the global literature. Valmiki, who is referred to as father of poetry, has authored it. The details of his life are not available, but it is said that he was a rover who made a living out of roving people. But after realizing his folly, he returned to God to lead a saintly life. Inspired by sage Narad and blessed by Lord Brahma, he decided to sing the achievements of Lord Rama, an ideal human being. Ramayana, as the name very clearly says, that it is a treatise, it is a book related to the life of Lord Rama. In fact, as has been just pointed out in the slide, Ramayana is a truly important important piece, a very significant piece of literature, of global literature. It is globally recognized. It is at the top of all the world epics. It was, as a matter of fact, written by Valmiki, as we discussed. But we do not know much about Valmiki and his life. It is mentioned in some scriptures that he was a rover, and he used to rove people, and by roving he used to live his life. Sometimes it may be right. Sometimes we think it may not be right. But that is not our viewpoint. We need to understand what he has written actually. That is of paramount value. That is of importance, because by the character of Lord Rama, by the story of Rama, he tried to teach the humanity and the coming generations, so many generations of India and the world. And you will be surprised to note that the popularity, the importance, the significance, the charm, the magic of Ramayana has not come down even after centuries. It is liked, narrated, and sung in the same fashion as it was sung in the earlier days. So, and Rajgopalachari, as I have told you, retold the text actually. He re-narrated the text in his own wordings, in his own language. Now we would like to have an introduction of Rajgopalachari. Chakravarti Rajgopalachari, popularly known as Rajaji or CR, belonged to a class of distinguished politicians and patriots. He was an original thinker and a close follower of Mahatma Gandhi, often referred to as the conscience keeper of the Mahatma. He participated in the freedom movement of India and spent many years in jail while being an active member of the freedom struggle. Post the independence of India, he rendered significant services to the nation in different positions, such as the Chief Minister of Madras, Governor of West Bengal, Home Minister of India, and the Governor General of India. He has a place in the general knowledge books as the first Indian Governor General of India. He was the first Indian Governor General of India, very popular person, was a man of letters. He was very near and dear of Mahatma Gandhi, and he was an active participant in the Indian freedom fighting movement. A very popular person and had a distinguished understanding of Indian Vedas, Upanishads, including Ramayana and Mahabharata. It was his understanding only. Because of that, he was able to narrate the book in a beautiful manner. It will be appropriate to note that Rajgopalachari came out with Mahabharata also. Mahabharata is also a kind of retold, just like Ramayana. So he actually had a kind of special desire to represent India and its culture, India and its values, India and its writing skills, India and its legendary people in front of the outer world, in front of the English-knowing world, because that was the time when English was understood and the different people were ruling the country. So he had a great idea, and because of that idea, he re-narrated these important epics, which are the representative texts of Indian culture, into English. And it is because of him that you see these texts, these stories, and these important ideals and values of Indian culture became very popular at the outside world. And this is how Indian texts got momentum in the contemporary world. Initially, Rajaji supported Pandit Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India. With the passage of time, he fell out with him due to disagreement over the policies of the government. He went on to become the founder of Savantaranta Party, which had an impressive army of great intellectual leaders, scholars, as well as few mass leaders. The party gained reasonable ground in Gujarat and Rajasthan, but its influence dwindled after the demise of Rajaji, making it a thing of past. As a matter of fact, initially, in the initial years when India got freedom, Rajaji supported Pandit Nehru very well. There were a kind of communion between both of them, and they were working for the development, for the growth of India in a team spirit, in a team feeling. But later on, Rajaji discontinued with Pandit Nehru because their ideas did not match. And then Rajaji made a new party that was known as Swatantra Party. The party was very popular. As long as Rajaji was there, the party was very popular. It got much popularity in the different areas of Gujarat and Rajasthan. But the popularity definitely came down when Rajaji passed away. Rajaji lives today because of his writings. He was a unique storyteller and was very influential in popularizing Valmiki's Ramayana and Vyas Mahabharata, as I have told you. He has presented both the epics in an all-inclusive style, making them appealing to all age groups and genders. His writings were well accepted by children, youths, and grown-up, and admired by both men and women of society. The immaculate presentation abilities of Rajaji led a charismatic charm to his Ramayana, which winds the reader to the book, and leaving it midway becomes nearly impossible for the readers. So, actually, as you are aware, that Rajaji is very well known because of his writings today. He was very famous because of his two retolds, Ramayana and Mahabharata, as I told you, because it was the need of the hour, and he did it, and he did it, and that too in English. Simple style, lucid style, not very big books, small books, and including all the chapters, all the major ideologies, major episodes which are narrated in the original Mahabharata and Ramayana. They are also narrated here. So actually these two important epics are in English in the words of Rajaji. This is what was the reason of popularity of Rajaji. The Ramayana. The Ramayana of Valmiki is the first and one of the greatest epics of global literature. Though the Rig Veda is hailed as the first book in the library of mankind, yet its authorship is attributed to God, making Valmiki the first poet of humanity, thereby giving him the title of father of poetry. It seems that Valmiki had shaped his Ramayana much before the Greek poet Homer, often referred as the father of Western poetry. As has been narrated in the slide, that he was a very prominent name. Valmiki was a prominent name who wrote actually this Ramayana. Ramayana is a representative of Indian culture. He shaped the book and he narrated the grand character of Lord Rama. So, actually what I point out that in fact there were so many other poets like Homer and other, but I believe that this Valmiki was much earlier than other poets. That is why Ramayana is a global piece of the world literature. Ramayana is an epic. An epic is a long narrative poem written on a great man or a sacred subject in a sublime style. It is usually divided in cantos or books or canons. Ramayana, I would like to introduce you. In fact, I have mentioned 3-4 times. But once again, we can have a discussion. Then it is an epic. Epic, what do you mean by epic? Epic is a subjective poetry. Epic has got the supreme place in subjective poetry. It is a long narrative poem written on a particular subject with a particular hero. And a normal hero can't be taken in epic. The hero should be a god or a legendary figure. There are usually 12 books. They are known as cantos or books or cants. So actually this is different episodes are discussed there. The story of epic can take place on earth or in paradise or even in hell. And always actually the truth should be victorious in an epic. These are all the features of an epic. So now you can see how Ramayana is written. The Ramayana, the Mahabharata, the Iliad, the Odyssey, the Shahnama, the Aeneid, the Paradise Lost, and Ramcharitmanas are the most famous epics of the world. In terms of impact and inspiration, Valmiki's Ramayana and Vyasa's Mahabharata surpass all the literary works of the world. Since India and Greece had epics, the literary pundits of both the countries propounded some principles for this form and most of the epic writers tried to pen their epics based on these guidelines. But they also took liberty, as the poets are above rules, and no critic or acharya can restrict them to bind their creativity in a set rules. So as we have just discussed actually, that there are some set rules. An epic must have following elements: plot, characters, eternal and universal message, sublime language. So there should be some features of an epic, because without features, it will become a mock epic. It will not be an epic then, it will become a mock epic. It will be a copy of the epic then. So as a poet has got a liberty, because the creativity can't be killed. But even then, there are some set rules that are to be followed. So we are discussing Ramayana as an epic. Ramayana, to my mind, fulfills all the criteria, all the points, the elements which are required for an epic are fulfilled by Ramayana. So Ramayana was such an epic, as I narrated in the first slide, that it is all because of the characters and the story. Ramayana is popular. Ramayana is as popular as we are finding it today. It's because of the characters. Dashrath, you are aware, he was king of Ayodhya, whose eldest son was Ram. Dashrath had 3 wives and 4 sons, Ram, Bharat, and the twins Lakshman and Shatrugna. Dashrath was the ruler, actual ruler, and he was very much fond of Ram, as you are aware. So, because of that, all episode takes place. Ram, Dashrath's firstborn son, and the upholder of dharma, correct conduct and duty. Ram, along with his wife Sita, have served as role models for thousands of generations in India and elsewhere. Rama is regarded by many Hindus as an incarnation of the god Vishnu, and by Southeast Asian Buddhists as an incarnation of Buddha. The popularity of Rama is not unknown to you. You also know the popularity of Lord. It is character of Lord Rama that makes Ramayana more popular. What was there in his character? See, he was an upholder of dharma, as you have seen in slide. He was an upholder of dharma. He tried to uplift dharma. For that, he gave up the state, the kingdom, the luxurious life, everything. He left everything because he was an upholder of dharma. Because of that, people of that time, people of this time, even now, they consider him as the incarnation of God, as the representative of the God. And even the Buddhists think that he was the incarnation of Buddha. Another character, Sita, he was Ram's wife, the adopted daughter of King Janak. Sita was found in the furrows of a sacred field and was regarded by the people of Janak's kingdom as a blessed child. Sita was a blessed child to King Janak. Janak was a yogi and he was the king also. But the nearness towards Sita actually was very different thing for him. And Sita also then got Lord Rama, and their story and then their separation from Ayodhya became a very different story and very juicy story for India and for the people. Bharat, Ram's brother by Queen Kekai. When Bharat learned of his mother's scheme to banish Ram and place him on the throne, he put Ram's sandals on the throne and ruled Ayodhya in his name. He was very near to Lord Ram. He used to think Ram all in all. There was only one feeling, that Ram is my elder brother and I will not do anything against Ram. And when his mother only wanted to do some favor for him, he denied. And he went there. He requested Lord Ram many times, but when Ram denied to come, then he actually put his sandals and then he ruled the nation. Hanuman, a leader of the monkeys tribe, allied with Ram against Ravan. Hanuman has many magical powers because his father was the god of the wind. Hanuman's devotion to Ram and his supernatural facts in the battle to recapture Sita has made him one of the most popular characters in the Ramayana. Hanuman was also a very popular character, as you are aware. Ravan is a villain in Ramayana. Ravan is a villain in Ramayana. The 10-headed king of Lanka who abducted Sita. The whole story actually takes place because of him. It was he who created the havoc there. In fact, people say that he was a very brilliant person. But whatever is the case, but he did some mischiefs and he abducted Sita, and because of that the fight and war took place. Kaushalya, Dasrat's first wife and the mother of Ram, she was the mother of Ram, and she tried to stop Lord Ram, but Ram did not stop when he was going to forest for the exile of 14 years. Lakshman, Ram's younger brother, by Dasrat's third wife Sumitra. When Ram and Sita were exiled to the forest, Lakshman followed in order to serve. He was very near to Lord Ram, and in fact, it was Ram and Sita who were going to the forest for exile. But Lakshman also followed them because he has the keen desire to serve them. That is why he followed them. So, this is the characters, the important characters. Now, Jatayu, the son of Arun and nephew Garud, a demigod who has the form of a vulture and tries to rescue Sita from Ravan. Jatayu fought valiantly with Ravan. But as Jatayu was very old, Ravan soon got the better of him, as Rama and Lakshman chanced upon the stricken and dying Jatayu in their search for Sita. He informs them of the direction in which Ravan had gone. Jatayu helped Ram a lot. Satrugna is the son of Dashrath and his third wife Kyun Sumitra. He is the youngest brother of Ram and also the twin brother of Lakshman. Sugriv, a Banar king who helped Ram regain Sita from Ravan, he had an agreement with Ram, though which Bali, Sugriv's brother and king of Kiskindha, would be killed by Ram in exchange for Sugriv's help in finding Sita. Sugriv ultimately ascends the throne of Kiskindha after the slaying of Bali and fulfills his promise by putting the Banar forces at Ram's disposal. Indrajit, a son of Raman, who twice defeated Lakshman in battle before succumbing to him the third time. An adept of the magical arts, he coupled his supreme fighting skills with various tradesmans to inflict heavy losses on the Banar army before his death. Kumbhakarna, he was a brother of Ravan, you are aware, who used to sleep for 6 months and used to wake up for 6 months. Suparnka was Damina's sister to Raman, as you are aware. Vibhishan, a younger brother of Ravan, he was against the kidnapping of Sita and joined the forces of Ram when Ravan refused to return her. The style and technique of Ramayana is, you see, it's a kind of an epic. The style and technique of Valmiki shows that he belongs to the top league of poets in the world. He has used all the emotions, all the rasas in his epic. The pangs of separation, the joy of meeting, the element of pathos, the terror of Ravan, humorous description of Kumbhakarna, and the bravery of Ram, and other barriers make the book full of life. The language used by the poet is simple, and the meter used in a systematic way. The poet employs various figures of speech, such as simile, pun, alliteration, metaphor, and whatnot. So in summary, we can say Ramayana of Valmiki is a base book for an Indian. It is a great epic full of sublime message. It is the truth that prevails everywhere in the society of India. Valmiki treats all characters as human beings, lending a note of realism to the Ramayana, which is not found in the works of other poets. It is the narrative quality of Valmiki that has made it very popular. And in fact, in summary, I would like to say that this is the beauty of the representation of C. Rajgopalachari that has made this retold Ramayana that is in your syllabus very popular. I think you must have enjoyed the session. Thank you very much. Thanks.